My brother Joseph Ajima in Community 9, Esther Efuajenfua, Yakuman, there you are. Teresa from Tema, I see you. Dinyami Eben in Bachona, good evening, my brother. Nana Fuyo, you and Hacho, there you are. Edward Akwete, Kaswa Millennium City. Floxy, you are in Oyarifa. Khadija in Koforidia. Osei Sasu. Koforidia. Yashon Awudi in attendance from Motown. Thank you. Good evening, Nana. Happy birthday to the princess Kokomante from Awudeme Estate. Fernando Ankwan, Community 14 Tema. Angelo Supremo Oyarifa, Beshela. Jerry Mozela, Lennox Adu from Oyibi. The one and only Nana Ano Ame here. Good old Emma Morrison is with us. Kwao Abdul Director is with us. Tugboat Zakir is with me. Kofi Agege, here you are. Philip Butcher, I see you. Bambino is there. Jones Uppington, I see you. Yes, Yogi. I must recognize Yogi. All the way from Canada. T-Cruz is in Temple. Well, you know it. We start the way we start. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. And you know I'll say that again. I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. Hello, and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao the Fourth, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. Welcome to another edition of That's My Opinion, our Monday evening ritual, which is not to be missed right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Right after news night, we hit the road and fly. Crab, no bone bed. Crab, no bone bed. That's our topic today. Okoton wanuma. To borrow Evans a car for Lufno. And if I couldn't give us the everyone, so if I don't do it, don't blame me. But car from the floor. Folks, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and I'm sure you get where I'm heading. And therefore, I don't know if there's another country that is gambling with its future as we are doing. This dangerous culture of now will one day bring us mayhem. Folks, There's this stupid sense of entitlement, rights with no responsibility, upbringing with no discipline, obsession for material things we have not earned, the sheer lack of shame, desperation for fame at any cost, even if it runs the family name into the gutter. I must be famous. No knowledge of their culture, lack of identity, and a tradition of I must have it for free at all costs. I am amazed, folks, at how we just leave things to chance and hope they will turn out well. Maybe we can call it the lottery mentality. The lottery mentality. Take a couple of numbers, you go home and just hope that they drop so you win. Now, I was beyond shocked when I heard the news of the students going on rampage because the invigilators were too strict. Now, I was thinking, is it a joke? Topsy-turvy thing? Is it a scene out of some comedy play? To actually go on a rampage because invigilators are too strict? As for cheating, we hear it all the time. There are these little private schools who always score 100%. Yeah, right, 100%. But we live with it. We hear papers leaking and being cancelled every now and then. But the boldness this time, the boldness is what drew my mind to the fact that crabs don't give birth to birds. Now, last time I talked to you about the symphonic theory of intelligence by Dr. Nanaya Opong, where he talks about how we pick or gather intelligence from our environment. We don't come to this world with it. Nobody's born knowing that I'm going to cheat in exams, or even born to know that I'm going to write an exam, or born to know I'm going to be violent, or whatever it is. They will have to come and see it, learn it, and pick it up. Folks, what are some of the things being picked up by our children? What is their environment teaching them? What do they see and hear? The fact that they don't have a platform doesn't mean they don't know what's going on. Again, like I said, we are just hoping that one day they will grow and become good citizens without teaching them what a good citizen is, or even what at all is a citizen. We just hope that one day they will find out and they will be good for us. The lottery mentality. I was at the Republic of Adumasa over the weekend, and I was flipping through channels on the decoder. Oh my days. Oh my days. From funny preachers to dodgy malams, about 70% of the channels were all either one-man preacher or a malam. The malams claiming to charm money out of a box, calling on people to consult them for money. Most of the preachers too were exorcising demons. Each one had a message from God, and there's always a woman spinning and falling. And I asked myself, is it at all legal? And the general message that runs through is that come and see me, and if you have any worries, I will let it go away. No need for hard work, no need for wisdom. Right there on national TV. These are the things our children are being fed on. That life must be easy. That money will come out of a box charmed by some malam. It's right there on TV. So as a child, you know it's right, because at the end you're right there. It won't be shown on TV. Right there. Now, I don't know if this is new, folks, but on one channel, there was this guy dressed in red and white stripes like some confused zebra, asking for 20 Ghana cedis, so he gives us 2 sure lotto numbers. And he ranted on for maybe 30 minutes. People were calling, saying they had problems and needed, they needed the number. They needed the number. And anyway, send them back. Send them back. No, 0244 for 22. No, teacher. No, maybe no, put it in my. And then Tika, and a frame, and a man 20, and then the photo. Just on and on and on. Folks, right there, after he was done, Another one also came. So obviously these photo magicians have bought airtime now. So just as one magician left, the next one came on. They say, also claiming to have tissue, also wanted 20 CDs, and people were calling again and say, hey, Ghana, because you couldn't have left the screen. I mean, since I was there and I saw this one and this one, I'm sure those who were calling, she said, what is this? And right after, the magicians were gone. Right after they were gone, there was a preacher man. So I am saying crap. No born bed. A hot on one man. Folks, recently, after the primaries, it was even on TV, it was in the news, where a political candidate literally went round with a truck collecting bicycles he had bought for delegates because they did not vote for him. It was in the news, not even a secret, in the news. He was also angry that when he tried to induce, it did not work. So give me back my bikes. What's the difference here between what he did and what the students are doing? Basically, if you won't let me bug the system, then there's going to be war. Simple. If you won't let me bug the system, then war. Has anything been heard of that incident? No. Which means it is normal. Folks, until Domilevo, who started surcharging people who misappropriate state money, it was just chop and go. The radio stations will talk about it for 2 days, and whoever it is gets to keep their job and the booty. And even that, folks, as Domilevo tried, see where it landed him. So do you think the next Auditor General will even bother or dare to chase anyone? And you think the children are not watching and learning? Is it that we think that they are so stupid? Folks, on radio, on TV, everywhere in their environment, and we think that they are so stupid they don't know what we are doing? Folks, this pressure to just pass exam is also wrong and must be checked. It's just not right. All throughout school, you are just mastering the art of exam writing. That's why the need for APO is so high, because you need the actual questions so you can reproduce the exact answers. But folks, had the subject been thought and understood well, then APO wouldn't matter so much. Folks, another thing that we are overlooking, the potential conflict that we are overlooking, is that not all the schools are engaged in this behavior. No. Some are sticking to the rules and being good students. Hopefully they will grow up to become good citizens. But don't forget, in future, they will have to share their world with these entitled cheats. These cheats will feel entitled, and it will not be a pleasant world. Folks, we'll get to a time where thieves will come to your house and say, hey, it was too hard to break down your gate, and therefore I'm very, very upset and probably beat you extra. Now gate, entitled. I couldn't come in and rob you easily enough, so I am angry. Folks, I put some of the blame on the system we are running, where it's very difficult to bite hard and let the laws work. Because if you do, you may not win power. Therefore, let us please as many people as possible. And here we are reaping the results. Folks, as for insults, I have raised this issue many times. I've asked this question many times. I don't know if the people insulting are genuinely angry or if they're just pretending. Because the rage and the venom from people, and I mean young people, some don't even hide their identity. They will use their social media handle to rain insult on someone whom their whole family has not been able to produce. I'm very serious. In their whole family, had it not been that social media handle, that person and their generation would have nothing to write home about. But they will pick on any president they are against and rain insult, really foul language. I want to know, is this man too human rights? Or just freedom of speech? Do we not have a culture? Do we not have an identity? Is it just because it's done in America, so, it should be fine here? Yes, by all means disagree. You can even disagree very strongly. But the insults, folks, aside those on social media, even radio commentators, calling each other thieves and liars at the least opportunity. What is a child to learn if you are born into this world? What is a child to learn if you're born into this world? Folks, right after all the insult and everything, when they are gone, the next one is nudity until the insults come back. As for the gambling menace, we are yet to tackle it. Apart from all the above, we are now pushing gambling down their throats. Gambling is a very addictive habit, just like drugs. People do very bad things just to fund that habit. Oh yes, it's a fact. But like I said, as for us, until they start robbing and causing mayhem, we won't do anything about it. We don't want to lose votes. But in all this, folks, remember that Okoto and Wanuma, these are our products. Whether we like it or not, these are our future leaders. And this is the best we made out of them. You and I should be ashamed, and should be really, really ashamed. Now I know you have much to say about this. So I don't want to cheat by ranting on and on and on and on. You can go on till the cows come home. You can now move on to the dindin capsules, the ebechi capsules, the wine bitters, this bitters, we have all. Tell if you are growing up in this world, Pacho, we apologize. On behalf of all adults, I am apologizing to these children. What an environment we are creating. Look, on national TV, midday news, they will break the news, drink, but drink responsibly. Really, in the midday news, they will break the news and sing and dance about some bitters that's going to make your manhood bigger than an elephant. And they tell you drink responsibly. Let us apologize for what we have done to the children. 0302 216 541. 0302 216 541. And if you want to send a WhatsApp, it's 0244 340 437. 0244 340 437. Who's my first caller?
Good evening. This is Kwao calling from Kaswa, Millennium City.
Kwao, let me hear you.
God bless you for such a topic. In fact, now our system looks like we are practicing garbage in, garbage out. Now there is these people called slave queens, and I hope you've had a glance on them. Now they are acting as if their action is legal. And look at the number of people who are trying to be like slave queens in this country. I put that one aside. Now these are our students. They are very fortunate because this is their world. There are a lot of sophisticated machines that will help them to do more research, to learn and learn harder. But what are we seeing? They are rather using these sophisticated machines to follow these unnecessary things, especially entertainment. I remember there was an incident during one program at, I think, one conference center or somewhere. Two artists were fighting on the stage, and these children are learning from them. What are we producing? In fact, Nana, leaders should put their leg on such problems that we are having. so that we will end it, else we can never come out with any good for this country. Thank you very much, Nana.
Thank you too. 0302216541. Kofi is in Dansuman. Hello, Kofi.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, very well.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, the topics that you raised this evening. Leadership is cause. Everything else is effect, So sometimes I find it difficult if people try to blame the populace, Ghanaians, or young people, because politicians insult themselves. The president calls Mahama incompetent, ignorant, among others. They are insults. So people are learning from that. So why do you people always want to blame Ghanaians that they are on social media insulting? When somebody takes your tax, the person ought to speak the truth and do the work for you. So for me, I don't think that Ghanaians have done anything wrong. As yourself, you've alluded to that we are learning from the elderly. So it is their problem. Now the children from the various schools, look at what's happening now. I mean, it's like when I went to university, I didn't go to a very prominent school, the so-called, because for me, they don't teach anything there. I mean, that's my own opinion. Because when I went to university, some of those people from those schools, they knew nothing. I mean, we were topping them. So I wondered how they were able to pass their exams. Some of us have had to struggle to pass our exams. All we hear is that the top schools, they buy the papers from WAEC, among others, and that actually confirms it when you go to the university. So the children today are learning, as you said, from the elderly. So what do you have to do? The correct things ought to be done. I mean, you don't have to advertise at all. You don't at certain times. The parents themselves. Today, you're having so many people who are single parents, no more getting married. So if you're a single parent, the person is a teenager. What kind of manners does the mother herself or the father, have?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Teenage mothers, that's a whole topic on its own. But Sandra is in Tema. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Mama.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I think our country is gone back like 4 or 5 decades. Like we keep going down. What do we expect? If our leaders sit on radio, common discussion, and it looks as if they are fighting. Look at the words they are using. Elders lying. Growing up, it was a taboo to lie. Let me put it that way. I am not that old, but at least I saw a little discipline in the system. But now look at us. Modernization is turning us into something else, Nana. What do you expect? When elderly people can sit on radio, can sit on TV, everybody sees this to be white, and they focus it on us to say it is black or it is red. What do we expect? Of course, I do not agree with what the children did. Those insults, but they picked it from us. They picked it from the so-called authority or the people in our leaders. There's nothing wrong with it. When only people can sit on TV or radio and talk anyhow and insult our leaders anyhow, the children are watching. Again, I don't know what it is about this SSC. Me, personally, I have a problem with this SSC, WASI exams thing. I have been a victim of that. After going through secondary school, we didn't even have the opportunity as we are having now with this Google and all this IT stuff that they can even Google. And then you know now, and you let's say you get E in math or E in English or E in science. There are other means of getting to the university when you don't get the better grades to go to the university straight. But then you can go through the other processes, maybe training college, maybe something, then gradually you move on, you do your diploma, or now you can even go as a mature student. And then with your working experience, you work for so long and time, and then somebody just stands somewhere and says, after you having your degree, having your master's degree, they just turn on your SSE math or SSE English result that you didn't get a credit in it, and then they terminate your appointment. Now it is seen as life and death. And so they will go all out to just get the result. And it is true and poor. You pass and you forget.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Thank you. Ajimai is on the line. Hello, Ajimai.
Hello, good evening. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
And your topic is on point. The place I don't try to do too much is about one of my issues. Because what is happening now wasn't happening during our time. And in 1995, when I was writing my essay, we wrote it in our own school, and our own teachers or tutors were supervising us. Though English madam will not supervise English language. But on the way they were strict on us, I was wondering why our own teachers, you understand? One thing is, somebody mentioned sophisticated equipment that these students might use to equip themselves. We have Google. You can go to Google to research and know what is happening. But what are they using these laptops and this kind of iPhones to do? At what age is a child holding a certain electronic device? And what are they doing with it? Are the parents checking what they use it for? They just go into the internet to download hip life and hip hop and are using it for cyber crimes, and they think about the money because they know after all my mother will go and buy the papers for me.
Ajimai, thank you so much. Something is on the line. The line is quite busy, so let's keep it short so we can get as many inputs as possible. But Something is on the line. Hello, Something.
Hello, Nana. Hello, Your Royal Highness.
Yes, Something.
And there is indiscipline in our older men. Permission to say it. A child told children 5 years, 7 years, they stole corn. They were detained at a police counterback. A child stole his father's chicken wing. The father caught with the blade to show that selling is no good. All our older men have told me 7 years. None of you are saying anything. And I live my life poor. I mean, when the children are doing this, for me, they are right. Even though it's wrong, I approve it. God bless you, Nana.
God bless you too. This one says this is what has been created in the minds of students. So we are actually being educated to pass exams, and you must pass. It's the pressure that's causing the frustration. Personally, it took me getting to class 3 to realize that I had to learn for life and not just pass an exam. This resolution gave me peace of mind even when preparing for any exam. I have passed some and failed some, but in all, I tell myself it's part of training. Failing an exam is not the end of life. Daniel Atule. But Nana Ama is in Kaswa. Hello, Nana.
Yeah, hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
We are in a microwave society. Our kids are impatient. They want everything instantly. Instant results, instant money, instant work. They don't have the patience to wait. And I think I kind of agree with you that we have kind of nurtured them that way. They've had everything too easy. Unlike us who went through the hard way, some of us even went barefooted to school. They ride in cars, they have access to everything, the internet. What did they use it for? Nothing. Nothing. And as adults, we are not setting any better example for them. Like the other caller said, you see 2 politicians from opposing parties sitting on TV insulting each other. So what do you expect the kids to do? We don't condone what they did, but we set the precedent for them to follow. Thank you, Nana, for your good work.
Thank you too so much for calling in. Clara is on the line. Hello, Clara.
Hello. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Clara.
Nana, welcome to them. I think we have to resort going to the president to do something about reverting the punishment of the children. Now, if we defend our children in future, we'll call lawyers to come and defend their crime. It is becoming too serious. Left to me alone, president should have allowed them to stay at home for a year to learn a lesson, so that next time when they are writing exams, they will not make a mistake by copying or going to do anything against the school's rules. It is becoming too much. what parents are teaching their children is what they will go out there to do. Tomorrow or in future, these children will end up in parliament and in higher offices. If we don't take a step to stop all these things today, in future, we will bow down our heads in shame. So I'm pleading with parents. Apart from praying, we should as well talk to the president. We are begging him. Now we know that you are grandpa, you are father, you are pleading for your children to go back to school. But we should not change what it is written in the Bible. Spare the rod and spoil the child. We should not change it. Thank you very much, Nana.
Clara, I thank you very much too. 0302-216-541. Okoto Enwanuma. Children are born into society. They are born into an environment, and then they will start learning what they see around them. It will be very hard to come to Odumasa and all of a sudden see people speaking Spanish. Because you know Spanish, right? They don't know nobody speaking Spanish. The same child in Spain, the same child, you go with speaking Spanish and won't be speaking Tree because why? There's nobody speaking Tree. A Kafu is on the line. Either Kafu or the line dropped. The line dropped. But let me try this one. Gala mijina hevio. Gala mijina hevio. Okoton wanuma in eve. Gala mijina hevio. There you have it. Dennis is on the line. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Nana.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Great.
I am a teacher.
Good.
And I'm in one of the secondary schools. I suppose that most of these young ones, as we have said, homes. And many of these behaviors that they show, I must say, are from the homes. Parents are failing. We must say it as it is. Parents are failing their children. Sometimes you tell them they shouldn't bring phones to school. Parents will find a way to give phones to their children when they come to school. Some do soccer bets on their phones. Some want to watch all manner of things. Parents would want to communicate with their children when they should be in school studying. So parents are the problem. We must set up. We have children. We love our students, but our parents are not giving us the opportunity to guide them to become responsible adults in future.
Thank you so much. That was a call from a teacher. Education is definitely three arms: the student, the teacher, and the pupil all come together to make this thing work. I think I have Moses next. Hello, Moses.
Yeah, hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Moses.
Yeah, how are you here?
I'm very good.
Thank you very much. Please, I just tuned to your radio station. I don't actually know where I'm speaking to, but I would like to give a contribution a little.
Well, you're tuned to Joy FM and you're listening to That's My Opinion. Let me hear you.
Very well. Please, according to what is happening in today's educational sector, back where those days, the discipline inculcated in the children in school was very much massive. So at the end of the day, when you complete school, and whenever you want to indulge into something that is very much bad, you will have to think about it twice. What is going on today? Spread the rod and spoil the child. We have rules and regulations in the educational service. GES has its code of conduct. What is the CI, the constitution about this? We need to sit down, analyze this. We are all human beings. Sometimes we might be at fault. But whenever we be at fault, what is the thing we are learning from it as individuals? The children, what they did is very much abysmal. It is very much appalling. It is nothing to write home about. But we say, what approach are we using to impact something into our children so that tomorrow we'll have the better future leaders that we are talking about? So please, I would like to contribute. Let's help build Ghana. Today is my first time of calling. We will help to build the nation. So what is the educational sector doing about this?
So thank you very much, and tune in every Monday. Yeah, we do this every Monday. We've been doing it for years now. So every Monday at 7 o'clock, stay tuned, and there's always a topic that's debatable that you can share good ideas like you just did. But it's Galamejina Heview. Galamejina Heview. Okoton Wanuma. Nikki's on the line.
Yeah, Nana.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling from your constituency, Kosomo.
Oh, good.
Nana, you are not an Ewe, so you can't pronounce it. Galamejina Heview. Heavy me bed.
Yes.
Class cannot give birth to bed.
Thank you.
Galamejina Heview.
Thank you.
You understand?
Let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, in fact, Nana, a lot of things are wrong in this country. I mean, all things are wrong in this country, and the stakeholders are not talking. But the question I want to ask is that, is there any right in this world to cheat? Does nobody have a right to cheat in this world? That's the question. Does there anybody have a right? Is there in our constitution, or spiritual, or whatever, physical, or traditionally, does anybody have a right to cheat? You know, like earlier colleagues are saying, it looks as if even if parents are failing, what about the state? Our rule of law, is it that they cannot work? That punishment that serves as a deterrent? The government can't take that if parents are failing. What is it that all people are failing? If parents are failing, can the government also fail? This is my question. And now I want to plead with some important, personalities in this country. Former President Rollins, former President Kwao, in fact, they are stakeholders. A lot of things are going on in this country. I never see them speaking. So please, I'm appealing to them. If the people can listen to them, they should also come on board and address some of the issues, and we will listen to them.
Thank you very much. Let me tell you a little story. I didn't want to add it, but let me add it, right? So, there's Edumasa JSS, which quote and unquote is cited because it's a government school. So I happened to go there because JSS 3 are in class, and the class was just half full. So I asked the teachers, why isn't the students are not coming? These are children getting ready to write, the exam. So I told the headmaster that, listen, if people don't turn up for school, I know it's a government school, but still in my jurisdiction, I will not allow them to write the exam. You repeat until such time you're ready. So there was an emergency PTA, the district education had to come, we all sat in the palace to discuss the issue, and I poured out to them that, listen, I mean, all these kids have to do is to show up in class, that's all. We have students, teachers who have traveled from their towns and everything to settle in this republic. They make it to class, and the child won't come to class. And at times, and then the Jumasa GSS will come up with. I said no. Last 2 years, I decreed if you don't get 50%, you're not being promoted. So stop, gallivanting in funerals and jumping and dance bars. No. Go home and learn, get over 50% and get promoted. Now, the attendance is 75%. If you don't get 75%, make my own throw. So, I mean, the team, they're not listening. So we had a meeting. There was a forum, myself, the teachers, the parents, the students, and the district education office. And I'm, very gladly that they backed me up. That, yes, Nana is right. If you can't be bothered to show up in school, you're not writing, you wait. I can't sack you as a government school. So you wait. When you're ready, you write. There must be some discipline. Vanessa is on the line.
Hello, Nana.
Let me hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, everything you said this evening makes a lot of sense. And I was actually amazed at the impudence of these students. However, I was just discussing with my little sister, and she also gave me, some revelation. She said that the genius just brought out a book and said, okay, there's always been past questions, but if you use this one, you're going to pass your exam. So it goes to say that the kids probably something from somewhere that told them that, okay, it's likely this exam will be softened for you. I don't think there can be smoke without fire. So in as much as I think it's wrong, I mean, this generation has so many issues, but we should also look at it holistically. There is no smoke without fire. I think so. So if we are lambasting them, let's get to the root. I mean, how are questions leaked in the first place? It's coming from up there before the kids are cheating in the first place. So let's look at this and look at it properly. Let's not just rave and rant and then go to sleep as usual and pretend as if everything is fine.
Good evening, Vanessa. Good evening. And Joe is on the line. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Once again, I'm on your platform.
Great.
Nana, just a little contribution. I'm into education.
Great.
I've been there since 2002. I was a lecturer, now an administrator. Nana, I have, during this COVID period, whilst we were home, I decided to make use of my time. So I decided to read around countries that seems to have a very high level discipline, and countries that seems to be the opposite. Nana, I took notice of some things. Number one, I realized that Africa is seriously pushing for development, which is okay. We have to develop. But development in the context of the Western development or that type have some excesses or minuses. Now, countries that have very little disciplinary problems, these countries develop without ignoring their customs or traditions. They develop without ignoring their custom or tradition. Now in Africa, we are developing and we have pushed our customs and traditions to the background. Anything customary, anything traditional, our degrees say it is filthy, it's unacceptable. That is a problem we are beginning to face now. If we want just to become like the United States and etc., we cannot get there without some of these crimes and some of this indiscipline. US has developed with a high-level non-adherence to traditions and customs. China and the Korea and a country like Sweden, the Scandinavian countries, if you do a reading on them, they are doing their development without ignoring some fundamental customs that they have. Now, the problem we are facing now is development without any recognition to our customs and our tradition. That is what we're doing now.
I couldn't agree with you. I could not agree with you. Otute Chani, thank you very much for tuning in, my lecturer at Methodist University. Good evening, sir. Growing up, right? By this little brother. They called him Keke. He grew to become below, but he was born because he can come down so easy. Now there was nobody so accident prone than this boy. He would ride his bicycle into a well, walk on the roof, fall through the roof and come and land on the bed. He was so accident prone. So this morning was his birthday, and I thought, okay, good, he said, the 40th. Jesus Christ, that's time flies. So happy birthday to the one and only below. KK Kosi can come down soon of Digicraft. Enjoy your day. Have a very blessed one. Now, those of you who are ready for the name, well, Ahinkan Nyame Enyunyam Nana Hima Efia Esa Afrakuma Sintim Misa. Ahinkan Nyame Enyunyam Nana Hima Efia Esa Afrakuma Sintim Misa. That's a name and a half. She'll be 3 tomorrow. And for her birthday, you can get all the 3 books of Ohini Gift Auntie for 90 CDs. For her birthday, that's her birthday offer. So you can get all the 3 books for 90 CDs. And the number is 054-361-8182. 054-361-8182. So get the Princess Probe. Get all the 3 books for 90 CDs. Tomorrow only, I am told. So like I'm saying, I think I'll urge all traditional rulers to pay particular attention to, Saito schools within your jurisdiction. When the district education people came, I said, listen, apart from school fees, are running as though it was a private school. The only difference is that there's not going to be school fees, but there must be discipline. I found 9cc for them, and they said, then cry or charity be washing. You won't come to school with your dirty clothes, nabra. There's always an excuse not to do something. Abanya BC school where Tiama, all you have to do is come out to your car that's so called left and right. No way. I mean, I won't try. Akoto was our topic today. We have to set good examples. We really need to clean up our TVs and the channels. Jesus Christ. Little magicians, malams, what are we teaching them? I am not by any means condoning what went wrong. No way. But we can't be living this lifestyle and just hope they will have. I mean, how do you hope? I mean, you know your father drinking, beating up your wife, and you just hope that your child will grow up and not do that. How? What does he know? Good evening again, Jones Apintin Pintosh. Until next Monday, folks, all I can say is that until the lions have their own historian, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter.